You don't have to be perpetually online or even a big follower of the podcast circuit to know that there has been a lot of drama in the conservative, like influencer-ish type sphere recently. And it's coming from all directions. There's not really one main source of it. You've got all these different little battles between different people taking place, and it's just really confusing. Before we get any further into that, I'm going to be really upset with you guys if you press like on this video. I'll be even more upset if you subscribe, and if you even think about sharing this around, I'm going to jump through the screen and choke you to death. Just want to get that out there. Follow my Twitter and Instagram, Caleb Isn't Funny. TikTok, Caleb Salvatore Comedy. That's based, outlawstreamers.com. It's my podcast. It's on Rumble, Spotify, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcast. Again, that's based with Caleb Salvatore. So there is a lot of infighting going on in the conservative sphere, and it's something about it just seems a little fishy. It started with this Steven Crowder versus Daily Wire thing, and Steven Crowder came out with the video explaining that they had all these loopholes in their contracts where they could take money from them. The Daily Wire clapped back. Then it turned out that Crowder was recording the phone calls, and the whole thing was just a train wreck. So I honestly don't know whose side to take there. I can honestly understand both sides when you learn about the contracts that were being offered. From Crowder's perspective, yeah, that would suck. If they're docking you pay, when they're supposed to be this free speech or this pro free speech, anti big tech, organization, but they're going to dock you pay if you don't play by YouTube's rules. I understand why that would suck. I understand where he's coming from. But on the flip side, the Daily Wire, at the end of the day, is a business, and a business has to make money. And if you take away YouTube, as much as we don't like it, YouTube is still a huge revenue stream for everybody in media. You need to have a YouTube. It's not as vital as it once was, and hopefully we're approaching the day where you don't need to be on YouTube to be relevant and to have a successful business model. But it's not there yet, which is like my podcast isn't allowed on YouTube. That's why I make these videos and I post little clips of it, because I understand that you have to be on the field to win the game. Like that's the reality of it. I do a good job, I think, if you watch the clips of That's Based, and these videos, I do a good job at walking right up to the line where YouTube might sanction me or might strike me, and then walking back across. I don't have a lot of experience in the YouTube game. I've done podcasts and comedy for a long time, but I'm navigating this just like everybody else. But that's what I figured out is if you're not on the field, you're not going to win the game. So I understand from the Daily Wire's perspective, and honestly, not just from a money-making perspective, from a winning hearts and minds, from a convincing people perspective, you have to be on YouTube. The average independent, moderate, fence-leaning voter is not on Rumble. Now, they may stumble across you on Twitter or Spotify or whatever and think, oh, that guy has some good points. But if you're not on YouTube, if you can't catch people's attention with quick three or 4 minute clips, you're not going to win at the end of the day, because people do have a short attention span, and they may not want to listen to your whole podcast, but they'll watch a 5-minute YouTube video. Even with the younger generation, it's less. You got to be on TikTok. As much as that sucks, and that's why I'm on TikTok too. I have a decent following on there. I'm on TikTok too, and the thing with TikTok is, yes, the Chinese government's spying on us, but you know what? Our own government's doing the same thing. I'm more concerned about them. It is what it is. Also, you've got crazy radical leftists on there. If we don't have people on there talking common sense, you're going to give the leftists, the whack job leftists, just unfettered access to the youth. And obviously, we've seen how horrific that's turned out. So we have to have opposing voices on there. We have to have some people on there talking common sense on all these apps. And I understand it's not for everybody, and it doesn't work like that for everybody, but I can understand the Daily Wire's perspective for not wanting to be on YouTube. This video's on YouTube right now. Don't get mad. If you're sitting there raging, oh, you're a sellout. No, you're on YouTube right now. You're contributing to the problem. My show's on Rumble. You can check it out there. We're trying to fix it over there. But again, I understand if I want to promote, if I want to grow this show faster, if I want to convince people of my point of view, I have to be here. It's just a fact. Now, it does suck that they wanted to dock his pay. I understand that. That sucks, but that's the name of the game, man. No one's making us do this, No one's making him do it. You can go sell cars. You can go work at Applebee's, whatever you want to do, man. You can go do talk radio, right? And yeah, you'll have to censor yourself, but you don't have to worry about, them docking your pay if YouTube comes along. I mean, it's all talk radio. No one's making him do it. So he wants to do it. This is the risk you're taking. After that, we have the Eliza Bleu saga, which we did cover on that space. We have a clip of it on this channel as well from the episode. That whole thing is just weird to me because with Eliza Bleu, I always kind of got that little grifty feeling, like something's off here. I don't know what it is, but it just you didn't want to be the guy who was bashing the sex trafficking victim. So we all just kind of shut up about it, right? That's kind of that's the vibe I got from Eliza Bleu. Just something was off. And then you find out the whole My Chemical Romance thing. You find out the American Idol thing, the dating show thing, the model thing, the music video thing, And it just feels weird, man. Like the whole thing, it just seems like she's thrown so many darts at the wall, and this is unfortunately the first thing that's stuck. And maybe she was trafficked. I don't know. Her explanation of being online trafficked, which was basically guys using her profile picture to catfish just stupid and lonely men, that's not trafficking. If she was trafficked, and no one wants her to go into horrific details, you don't have to share every detail. But if you're going to go out there and you're going to make money, allegedly, supposedly, make money doing this and advocate for victims and try to cause real change, there needs to be some type of receipt. And her timeline's all screwed up. And so people called this out, and they started posting these images of her in this music video for World Star Hip Hop, where she, in a phone call herself, long before deepfake technology was a thing, admitted that she tracked the CEO or president or whatever of World Star Hip Hop down and asked him to be in one of these videos. So people started posting image or screenshots of her in this video. She's got her ass and tits out. It's whatever. It's typical rap video, right? Like it's nothing egregious. And so people started posting this, and she was claiming that was her being trafficked, that she was trafficked in that video. And I'm like, that's a big allegation. I mean, you're kind of implying that World Star Hip Hop was at least complicit in you, or a factor in you being trafficked. So she had, she's a pro free speech advocate, and she had her buddies at Twitter with Elon Musk and all them go and remove these tweets. They banned it, and they used the same policy that Twitter had originally invented to defend Hunter Biden when the laptop story was going around, where they influenced an election by censoring it. So pro free speech. She wants to grift with conservatives and libertarians, yet when the chips are down, she's going to abuse the exact same rules that have been abused against us for close to a decade now. Isn't that great? So Tim Poole is obviously a big fan of Eliza Bleu. I don't know if fan's the right word. He had her on his show a lot. She was a guest. He was backing her. He seems to have backed off a little bit. I think he's starting to see this for what it was. Eliza got multiple YouTube channels yeeted off of Twitter. The Quartering was probably the biggest one. By the way, props to the Quartering. And this is no disrespect. I'm not big into the internet culture. I know the podcasters, just Steven Crowder, Matt Walsh, guys like that. But, excuse me, I don't know a lot of these YouTube channels, right? And that guy's videos are phenomenal. And I found out about him. It was a Streisand effect type thing. I found out about him. I found out about a lot more of this Eliza Bleu stuff because of all this. So congrats. Congrats on that. Great. Guy does a great job. Very, very good production quality. So they had a bunch of Twitter accounts censored. I think most of them are finally back online now. But it's just been hypocritical abuse of power. Abuse of powers that were set in place to oppress us to begin with. Us being free speech people on, to the right of Stalin, those kinds. So it's a very hypocritical thing. And then last up, we kind of talked about it. We had the James OKeefe saga, where he was kicked out of Project Veritas. We don't know why, but it just so happened to be right after the Pfizer expose. You can go check that video out. It's further down. We posted it last night. So this whole thing is just, there's so many moving parts to it, and it's not like it's this one big war. It's all these little battles being fought over completely different things, and honestly, by people who probably have a lot of the same values. This isn't like the MAGA folks versus the Cheneys. Like, this is, a lot of these people probably agree on a lot of stuff. And it's just this infighting. And it feels like I don't know who it is. Let me know in the comments. Maybe you have a theory. Who the common denominator is here that's causing this big fight. I mean, we're living in a time, an insane time. They're shipping all of our money out to Ukraine. You know, we've got chemical explosions in Ohio. They're shooting down objects out of the sky that we don't know what they are. They're trying to make it legal to do sex change surgeries on kids. And we're focused on Steven Crowder and the Daily Wire's contract dispute. Like, this is the when they talk about distractions, this conservative infighting drama is the real distraction. The UFOs are fun to think about. You know, the Ohio fire was a disaster. But when you look at, like, actual distractions, if you wanted to actually destroy your opponent, you make them fight from within, right? Like, that's Sun Tzu type stuff. Everyone knows that. If you want to win a war, you want to divide your opponent, and that's what they've done. And it's not even along ideological lines. Like, it's just this weird, bizarre people taking shots at each other thing. Everyone's fighting. Everyone, you know, from the big influencer, podcaster type people to just the people that watch and listen. They're not focused on the insanity of the left, but they're more so focused on, you know, oh, look what Eliza Bleu said about the quartering today. You know, look what Tim Poole's been awful quiet about, like, stuff that really doesn't matter. They're chopping your kids' genitals off, man. There's a bill in Nebraska, LB 574, I believe, that was going to ban sex change surgeries for minors. Yeah, LB 574 in Nebraska. And you've got hundreds of people showing up to protest against that. I remember 5 years ago, the most far left people I know, they were like, yeah, I don't mind trans people, but, you know, hormones, sex change surgeries for kids, that's a little bit far. I don't think that's okay. That was the most far left people I know. I have receipts of that. And now that's like a Democratic Party platform. Moderate Democrats, if you don't think that it should be fully legal for someone to take their 5-year-old in to get his junk cut off and turn him into a girl and put him on these drugs that are going to sterilize him and give him all kinds of mental problems and organ failure down the road, then you're a bigot, and there's no room for people like you in a civilized society. That's their platform now. That's like mainstream opinion on the left. We're fighting insane people. These are demons that we're up against. And we're, like I said, we're worried about Steven Crowder and the Daily Wire's contract dispute. Have you ever heard of not fighting in front of the kids? Maybe they should do that. Maybe they should take that advice. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Who's behind this infighting? Because it's all happening at the same time. On a much, and I understand it's always happened, but this is a much larger scale, and these are much bigger figures, right? So who do you think's behind it? Do you think this is just sporadic, or do you think that this is not a coincidence that all this nonsense happened at the same time? Let me know in the comments. And with that, thank you guys for watching. I need to get an ending for these videos. I have one for the That's Based clips. I need one for these videos. Thank you guys for watching, though. Be sure to click the like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, share around if you're feeling generous. Follow me, Twitter and Instagram, Caleb Isn't Funny, Caleb Salvatore Comedy on TikTok, if the Chinese spy balloon didn't get enough of your information. That's Based, outlawstreamers.com, Rumble, Spotify, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts. All the links, are right down below in the description. Just follow them. One little click of a button and you're subscribed to me for life. My show, you can hear me yell my crazy opinions and make dark jokes. It's like we take serious topics on and we approach them with the seriousness and respect they deserve, but we also kind of make fun of them. It's a good balance, and I think you'll really like it. Again, that's Based with Caleb Salvatore. I shouldn't even have to tell you this twice. Just go to the description, stupid. Anyway, thank you guys so much. Remember to cheat on your taxes, not your spouse. Peace out, and stay based.